Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, there's a topic that I want to cover. I thought it would be an interesting topic, and to be quite honest with you, I think it's going to open up a can of worms for people to come into the comment section to criticize us. But I'm actually open to it because I think it's just an interesting topic, and I think fight fans will probably like to weigh in on this. And that is the boxing media, if you will. Now, Shakur Stevenson just recently made some comments in regards to the boxing media that I'm going to play here in a second. And I want to have this discussion because I would agree to some extent the boxing media is different from any other media. But I think there's also some confusion in regards to how all this works, Jay. So let me quickly play this soundbite from Shakur Stevenson. It's about a minute, and then we'll come back and react to it.
I ain't gonna lie, you love Devin, my guy. You've been asking me about Devin since yesterday.
I'm also asking
Let's focus on Edwin. We don't have an Edwin question on board.
I answer all the questions. I don't give a fuck.
what you saying was Cambosis, Frank, and now Edwin all said that you should have took it for the opportunity. What's your response?
What the fuck do I care what Edwin say? Edwin is Edwin. Who the fuck is Edwin? Edwin, this is first big fight. Edwin got to prove himself on Thursday. So I hear you, but I know you love Devin so much. And just like a lot of these other media people, y'all got favorites. I'm starting to understand why Tank treat y'all the way he treat y'all. He incognito to y'all because y'all trifling. Like y'all come in this motherfucker and pick favorites and put y'all own narratives out there and spread lies. And I just think that shit wrong. Boxing media is the fakest motherfuckers in the world. With all due respect to y'all, but y'all fake as shit.
So, with all due respect.
Let me cut you out.
Yeah. So Jay, I want to take my time on this one because I do think it's an interesting conversation. So he says the boxing media is fake. I think there is a lot of confusion in regards to what is media. Like media, I think is a very broad and general kind of descriptor of anyone that is doing any kind of media whatsoever, right? And we know that boxing lives on YouTube. And when you compare it to different sports, those sports don't necessarily live on YouTube. When you see coverage of the NBA, when you see coverage of the NFL, the NHL, Major League Baseball, you're seeing coverage done by a journalist, right? Journalism is completely different from sports commentary and analysis, right? It's two separate things, but they get clumped together. Journalists, they need to be impartial. They need to be balanced as they are giving you the facts, the news, whatever, because that's what it is. That they're not supposed to be biased, even though there's always a level of bias in everything that we do. They try to be as unbiased as possible. When you are doing sports commentary and analysis, your job is not to be unbiased. Your job is to give your opinion. Your job is to entertain. So like First Take, Undisputed, they're not journalists, guys. And so when you think about boxing, there's way more sports commentary and analysis than there are journalists. Boxing scene, those are journalists. I would say Fight Hype is more like journalism. Even our guy YSM would be more like, in my opinion, journalism, because they don't necessarily give their opinion. We're not journalists. I'm not a journalist by trade. I'm a finance professional by trade. Hell, I can barely read and write, let alone. So I'm not a journalist. I have no interest in being a journalist. OK, so let's make that clear. And I think that's where the confusion comes in, Jay, where people think that, you know, the folks that are covering boxing, most folks that are covering boxing are sports commentary and analysis type people. They are not journalists. They're not trying to be journalists, right? And that's where the confusion lies. Now, here's the second thing as far as I'm concerned, Jay. I think what you get from quote unquote boxing media is a reflection of the environment that they operate in. I heard Bob Arum mention that, well, you get all these different narratives and things that are out there because boxing is like the Wild Wild West, but boxing media didn't make it the Wild Wild West. Sanctioning bodies made it the Wild Wild West. Fighters make it the Wild Wild West. Look at Shakur Stevenson and how he responded to the reporter. I don't give a F. Y'all effers. He all on Twitter, man, dropping N-bombs constantly. Do you see LeBron James on Twitter dropping N-bombs constantly?
Or
how about exactly? How about Russell Wilson? Do you see any of those guys doing that? How many NFL and NHL players do you see doing that on a regular and constant basis? They keep it professional, right? And so because they're working in a professional environment. Shakur Stevenson, and the reason why I played that entire clip was for you to hear how he's actually interacting with the boxing media. You get out, you reap what you sow. You get back what you put out. So the boxing media is a direct reflection of what goes on in boxing because boxers put out fake narratives, boxers lie, all of that stuff occurs. According to the fans, all the promoters lie, the boxers lie, all this stuff exists in the sport of boxing. It is quite frankly the wild, wild west in my personal opinion. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Jay, what's your thoughts on what Shakur Stevenson had to say?
I mean, I understand he's a little sensitive about some people that interview him or write stuff about him, bad stuff about him, and he doesn't get a chance to defend himself, but he doesn't help his case at all. You know, when he's going on a damn roller coaster on Twitter, 1 minute he's mad at this person, 1 minute he's mad at that person, then I said everything's cool, then I said he's the victim, then I said he don't care. Bro, which one is it? Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. I think for Shakur, he doesn't seem like he's ever had any type of real like media training on how really to talk in media. I'm not saying you have to be a different person, but like you said, you are professional. You are still a professional. You know, no, you're not doing a regular 9 to 5, but you're still considered a professional. So act as such in that manner. You know, the way he was talking in that, I'm like, it's a time and a place for it. I get it. It's fight week. You've been dieting. You're probably agitating and whatnot. But you chose to try to be all happy and joyful when it's going good for you. When things get a little rocky or don't go your way, you got to deal with that as well. You got to deal with it the same way you take your wins, the same way you take your losses. So deal with it in that fashion. And also, you see why Tank is how Tank is. Tank hasn't changed. Tank just stays quiet. Tank reminds me of like a Marshawn Lynch. When Marshawn Lynch was in the league, he ain't say nothing because he didn't trust the media. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to control my own narrative because I'm not going to give you anything to put out there. Anything you put out is going to be from me. I'm going to control that. He didn't do like Shakur. Shakur put everything out there, everywhere. So they go every which way they want to. So people that's writing on him, talking on whether in the journalism or in the media, they're going to take it however they want to because he's giving them the fuel. He's putting the fuel putting the fire out there like that. So that's on him. You know, so it's up to him to change things, not necessarily change who he is, but change how he approaches things. You know, I kind of like the fact that he did say that he's like, yeah, I'm kind of learning, but I don't, you know, why Tank is like he is with you guys. But he said, they asked him, so when did you start feeling like that? Maybe a couple of days ago. Man, you ain't learned nothing. You just in your feelings right now because they asked you some question that you don't want to talk about. And I get it. You don't want to talk about other fighters doing your fight, but you set it up there like that because you're tweeting about stuff like that. You're just tweeting about other fighters just a couple of days ago. So if you don't want that out there, don't put it out there. You want to be asked about it, don't put it out there. So he just needs to chill. He needs to definitely go through some type of training of how they deal with the media in a different form, in a different facet. Hell, one of his biggest mentors was Andre Ward. You can't get a better guy to tell you how to use the media than Andre Ward. Ward didn't have any issues like that. So go to him. But stop trying to put the blame on everyone else when it's everything that encompasses boxing right now is the issue. Promoters, like you said, the fighters push stuff out there. They try to put a narrative out there, then they get mad when the narrative doesn't go their way. So it's everyone that's involved in that. It's not just one person. It's not just the media. It's not just journalists. And like you said, there's a distinction between actual journalists and just people part of the media that's giving their opinion on sports.
Exactly. There's a delineation there, and that's okay. Boxing is what it is. Are there YouTube media members, if you will, that put out salacious headlines and things of that nature? Yeah. Are there people that do you need to make interesting titles and thumbnails? You do, because if you don't, people don't click on it, right? So you have to make sure that the content that you're putting out is content that people want to hear. The same people that'll criticize you in regards to the content or how you word things will be the main ones that come into the comment section to actually have those discussions, and they'll criticize you in those same videos, right? So that's interesting. The same people that are willing to criticize you in terms of how you do things on your channel, how you set up the structure of your channel, the titles of your channel, whatever. They haven't grown a YouTube channel from the ground up to understand what it is that's actually required to have content and subscribers. So, I mean, those things happen, and we understand that. But I think the vast majority of people that I've run into, they have good intentions. But at the same time, you have to entertain the people that are subscribed to your channel, and not only that. I'm a firm believer that the more your name is out there, the better off you are, right? So all press is good press as far as I'm concerned, unless you're around here doing some very salacious things that, you're going to go to jail for. But outside of that, if somebody's talking about you in a negative way, that's good news because they're talking about you. If somebody's talking about you in a great way, that's good news because they're talking about you. If they're not talking about you, you got problems. And I think, there's some problems going on currently with the promotion this week, because a lot of people aren't talking about it as far as I can see. So Jay, anything else you want to share in regards to this? I just thought it was an interesting comment by him, and just an opportunity for people to come into the comment section. They're going to criticize us and say we say all kind of stuff. I'll be in the comment section. You guys can hammer away as much as you want to. It'll be an interesting dialogue. But anything else you want to share, Jay?
I just hope Shakur grows from this and learns from this to become better as far as dealing with the media and how he wants to deal with as far as journalism, media, social media, everything, because he needs to grow from this. He's still young, and I know it's a different era than what we grew up in. We're not having to worry about social media or anything like that, but still, though, there's ways you can maneuver. I don't think it's that hard, especially when he has the resources that help him maneuver as well. He's not some little peon, so he has a way, he has options and resources out there to help him maneuver and get better with this whole social media thing.
Yeah. You guys tell us what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are